Bournemouth 3, Liverpool 2. Now, before I start, apologies for my starting 11. I had been informed that it was the same 11 as against Marseille. It turned out that Gakpo was put in for Ekitike. So, because of that, I won't be publishing these in advance again. This is the first time we've been wrong, but it was wrong. So, I don't want to ever put misinformation out there. So, once again, my apologies, but it won't happen again. Okay? But onto the game, the performance and the results. And this is not going to be pretty. Okay? I just warn you in advance, it's not. And do you know what? Do you know what my overriding emotion is, or was, at the end of that game? It wasn't anger, it wasn't frustration, it wasn't even disappointment. It was apathy. And apathy is defined as a lack of interest, enthusiasm or concern, a state of indifference or emotional emptiness towards something you typically find moving or exciting. And how sad is that it's come to that. Most times this season, after displays like that, I've been fuming. But today, it was almost as if my mind just waved the white flag and gave up and said, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth getting that mad, because it's not doing you any good. And it all started with the starting 11. There was only one change, but it was the one change I did not want to see. Our best goal scorer, a player who lights up the pitch when he's on there, dropped for Cody Gakpo. And I said to one of my mates, Darren O'Connor, before the game, we were texting, and I said, do you know that one change actually makes me far less confident than I was when I thought it was the same starting 11 as Marseille. The shape we had in Marseille completely nullified by having Gakpo in there. Supposed to be leading the line, was he? Well, he didn't, and he often ended up drifting out left anyway, where he was as ineffective as always. That was mistake number one from the manager, but it was not the only one. There were others just as big yet to come. But let's just mention a few key numbers and facts going into this game. Bournemouth had won 1 in 14 games before today. We'd beaten Bournemouth 11 times in the last 12 times that we've played them. But we'd only won 5 of our last 17 league games before today. Now it's 5 in 18 league games. A 27.7% win rate in almost half a season's worth of games. We are now winless in 5 Premier League games with 4 points from the last 15, and we haven't won a league game yet in 2026. Bournemouth today scored 2 goals in the first half, and they hadn't scored 2 in total in the last 6 games that they played against us. And of course they ended up with 3. And our dismal away record in terms of goals conceded per game continues, with yet another 3 put past us for the worst away goals per game record in decades. At the other end, we had a grand total of 3 shots on target, 1 from open play, which was a fluffed Mo Salah shot. The other 2 were the header from a corner and Szoboszlai's free kick, our 2 goals. 1 shot on target from open play in almost 100 minutes. We also, as usual, had 67% possession and 597 passes to their 33% possession and 310 passes. But we only had those 3 shots on target, and they had 5. And there, once again, lies the story of our season in the story of this game. Tippy-tappy, side to side, nothing football. 10 to 15 minutes at the start, we were knocking it around with a bit of confidence. Then the sloppiness creeps in. Then Bournemouth, with their first attack, pounce on a Van Dijk error, and we concede to the first shot on target once again for the opposition. And it's so predictable because it's like Groundhog Day. The same pattern repeats over and over and over. And Bournemouth, it has to be said, at that point in time, 20 odd minutes into the game, we're offering next to nothing except a lot of perspiration. They were running hard, they were chasing hard, and they were trying. But this is a team that has lost all of their best players, including the latest being Semenyo, their biggest goal threat. But credit to them, because you know what? They fought for everything today. They fought for that win. They fought for the badge. They fought for the manager, and they fought for that crowd. And we posed them virtually no problems whatsoever throughout the entire game. Yeah, a goal from a corner. Yeah, a goal from a free kick. But other than that, virtually nothing. And you know what? To Bournemouth fans, your team is a credit to you today, and they're a credit to you every week. And I just want to see heart like that in this Liverpool team. But going back to us, after conceding that first goal, we once again capitulated. Mental frailty has well and truly replaced the monster mentality of the Jurgen Klopp era. At the first sign of adversity, we collectively crumble. And it happens again today. And it happens in almost every game where we concede the first goal. 2 points from losing positions so far this season. What does that tell you? Joe Gomez, again, can't get into a hard tackle or into a collision without getting injured. I feel for the lad, but I'm sorry, Joe, mate, you just can't play more than a couple of games in a row. And you've been a fantastic utility player, but it's time we got utility players who are there every week, who can be there every week and not get injured. And Joe gets injured, tries to soldier on. We don't have a sub ready. Now, why did he go off the field and leave us with 10 men? Why did he not go down injured and stop the game so the trainer could come on and we could then replace him with a sub that's ready to go on? Why was the sub not ready? Why is he scrambling to get changed while Joe's already off the pitch? And why did we play on with 10 men? What was the manager doing or thinking by allowing that catalogue of events to even happen? He's screaming from the sideline to try and get Alisson to put the ball out of play, while Joe Gomez is watching from off the field and our sub's still getting ready. It's comical and it's unprofessional. So we're down to 10 men. They knock a ball into the wide right area. Kerkez is completely the wrong side of his winger. Van Dijk is a yard behind the rest of the defence, playing them all on sides. And the inadequacy of Kerkez, together with Van Dijk not aware of his surroundings, and Bournemouth make it 2-0 with 2 shots. 2 attacks, 2 shots on target, 2 goals scored, and we're 2-0 down, and with a mountain to climb. And it's 10 years since we won a game after going behind 2-0. Then we got a lifeline. Finally, we scored from a corner. Virgil making some amends for the 2 goals we conceded by heading home Szoboszlai's corner. So now it's 2-1 at half time against the team on a poor run with brittle confidence. So it's now retrievable. Slot started the second half with just 1 change. Kerkez being pulled as he was a headless chicken in that first half and culpable for the second goal. Now, I'd had a bit of a debate in the pre-game video because I'd been singing the praises of Kerkez for his recent displays, and a couple of you telling me that he remains a liability and you're not convinced. Well, I hold my hands up, because after those good recent signs, this was the Kerkez from earlier in the season. He seems to lose the plot, he goes into headless chicken mode, and he's all over the place. So after a couple of steps forward, that was at least a couple of steps back. But is it a coincidence that his worst games come when he's partnered with Cody Gakpo? They have no chemistry, and it might be a coincidence, or it might not. I'll let you be the judge. Robbo came on, and Robbo did absolutely fine, put in a couple of lovely crosses. He was better than Kerkez immediately. And Spurs for 3 million. Are you having a laugh? He's 31 for God's sake, and it would be a dereliction of duty by the club to give him to Spurs for 3 million because we don't have left back cover, and Robbo is a class act. And Robbo should be given more game time. I'm not saying start him every week, but my God, he should be getting more than he's getting. I think he started 5 games this season in the league. So let's move on to where I believe it all went wrong. The hour mark. Slot decides to make his changes, and this is where I almost lost it. This is where the manager, once again, just like he got it wrong by starting Gakpo, got it very, very wrong. Now, I saw Jones and Ekitike warming up and I thought, good. McAllister has been dismal again, so he's going to come off and Jones is going to come on. I'm okay with that. And now we can revert to the attacking quartet that worked so well in Marseille, because no doubt about it, in my mind, that the useless, and I mean useless, Cody Gakpo would be making way for Ekitike. Right? Wrong. Gakpo stays on yet again for 74 minutes in the end, by the way. And instead, Slot takes off Frimpong and moves Dominic Szoboszlai back to right back. So our quickest threat on the right wing, taken off when we need 2 goals. Our best, most creative and most likely midfielder, Dominic Szoboszlai, moved to right back when we need 2 goals. Slot removed 2 of the players most likely to impact the game from an attacking perspective. 2 of our best attacking options, gone. 2 of the players most likely to positively impact the introduction of Ugo Ekitike, with the pace of Frimpong and the threat and creativity of Szoboszlai, both removed. So we brought on 1 attacking player and in essence lost 2 because Frimpong went off and Szoboszlai went to right back. So that's a net -1 when you need 2 goals, when you got to score 2 goals to win the game. But it was more than a net -1 because all strikers rely on service, either from midfield or from out wide. And Slot took off our best wide man and our most creative midfielder. In addition, a defence that had already lost Gomez and had Endo playing there out of position and who's barely kicked a ball after being frozen out, and had Robbo on for Kerkez, now had a 3rd change out of 4 by having another midfielder shunted to right back. So the width was gone, the attacking creativity was reduced, the defence was weakened, and the team balance was completely blown out the water. And in addition, the complete ineffectiveness of Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah remained. Now, this is important. Remember, we were 13 games unbeaten, and when was the last time we were beaten? It was against Nottingham Forest in November. We lost 3-0 at home. And who played up front that day? Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah. And who started at right back that day? Dominic Szoboszlai. In the defeat just prior to that Forest game against PSV at home, we lost 4-1. And who played out wide that day? Mo Salah and Cody Gakpo. And who started at right back? Dominic Szoboszlai. Since that defeat against Forest, Salah has been dropped at a strop and then was away at AFCON. Cody Gakpo has been injured and then left out against Marseille. And Szoboszlai has continued to be the one shining light in midfield. So why, at 2-1 down and needing 2 goals, do you leave Salah and Gakpo on and remove your best option in midfield to be replaced by Curtis Jones and move that best option to right back? Now, it goes without saying, this has got nothing to do with Dominic Szoboszlai. Another goal today for the team that barely creates a chance as a shot on target, and an assist for the corner too. And he is our player of the season by some distance. But he is not a right back. And Slot keeps putting him there, and I just talked about the results of some of the games while he's had Gakpo and Salah up there, and he's lost the creativity of Szoboszlai to put him as a right back. Now, there was a moment that will be overlooked because nothing came of it, but the wide left player for Bournemouth was in acres of space, all alone, unmarked while they attacked down the right. And it was only because Bournemouth actually didn't find him with the pass that it will be overlooked. But Dominic Szoboszlai was all at sea positionally. And that's purely and simply because he is not a right back. And he doesn't have the positional sense of a right back. But the manager keeps doing it. And it's wrong. Finally, on 74 minutes, the truly atrocious Cody Gakpo was pulled off. Finally. YNWA came on and did more in 5 minutes than he had done in 74. And by the way, YNWA did more in 5 minutes than Mo Salah had done on the other wing too. And I do need to ask the question, why is Salah straight back in and again playing an entire 90 minutes today? And today in particular, I get it against Marseille when the team was performing and we were 2-3 goals up. But in today's performance, he was useless. But back to Rio. 3 minutes on the pitch and he goes right past their right back. The right back actually takes him down, but Rio doesn't go down. Had he gone down, it was a penalty. But he stayed on his feet, so it wasn't given. But it was the first time in the entire game that our left-sided forward player had gone past his man. A couple of minutes later, 5 minutes on the pitch, he dances past a couple of players, he gets brought down on the edge of the box, and from there, Mo Salah knocks the ball to Dominic Szoboszlai and he hits a beaut into the corner. And we make it 2-2. So surely now, with 10 minutes to go, and going from 2-0 behind to 2-2, the Bournemouth balloon is burst, right? And we've got the incentive, we've got the momentum, we've got the will to win. No, not at all. Immediately from the kickoff, Alisson pulls off a fantastic save from Christie. And then there was this moment right after that. If you didn't spot it at the time and you watched the game back, have a look at this. Liverpool are on the attack, but we're not swarming them. We're just on the attack and it breaks down. And Bournemouth get the ball and go on a break. And they don't break at speed. And Liverpool players are quite well positioned, but not one of them raced back. Not one of them. As a collective, they jogged. And Bournemouth suddenly, and the only reason being that Liverpool players gave up at a 4-on-4. Those Liverpool players looked like they simply couldn't be bothered. They had no motivation on the surface of it to bother getting back and trying to prevent a goal. There was no fast break from Bournemouth. There was no piercing through ball from Bournemouth. Just players who ran faster and wanted it more. And that is criminal from those Liverpool players. It ended up with Evan Nielsen being put clean through and he misses a sitter. Otherwise, we're immediately 3-2 behind. So we've been warned twice since drawing level. An excellent Alisson save and a missed sitter. And we failed to heed those two warnings because a couple of minutes after that, on 87 minutes, Alex Scott is 20 odd yards out and he kills one just over the bar. Another warning, 3 in the 7 minutes since we drew level. Now, another important point, a little earlier than that, Bournemouth had a long throw. And we lost not just the first ball and the second ball, but also the third ball from that long throw. And we just about scrambled it clear. And in the 95th minute, they get another long throw. And we lose not just the first duel, but also the second duel. And the ball breaks free to 3 Bournemouth players. Look at this graphic from the second before he finishes. Our players, including Alisson, are all on the floor in a heap. They have 1 on the floor, but 3 of them all ready to pounce, with only Alisson in a heap on the floor and Ekitike, the sole player, guarding the goal. And so, with their 4th big chance, after we had levelled the game in the 80th minute, they finally made us pay and they won the game. In summary, that was a disaster of a performance from the players and from the manager. You'll be on probably either one side or the other. You'll be slot in and it's on the players, or you'll be slot out and it's on the manager. They were all in it together today for me. We can't win a league game and we don't look likely to win a league game. Arne gave us a glimmer of hope with his starting 11 against Marseille and the way he set the team up. and then he snatched it away today. And then compounded it with staggeringly awful substitutions and rejigging of the team that upset the balance, didn't improve it, made us less likely to score and more likely to concede. And we lost the game. I've said if this manager can turn it around and I can see a clear upward trajectory in results and performances, that'll be great. And I'd love to see it, because that means we're on the right track and we are doing well. But this was more evidence of no upward trajectory whatsoever. No evidence of a manager who knows what starting 11 to pick, and no evidence of a manager who sees something working and is able to stick with it and enhance it and improve it. And a manager who doesn't seem to know when and how to make substitutions and to make the right substitutions. And when this has been going on for 18 successive league games, one game short of an entire half a season where we have won 5, you tell me, please, those of you who have unwavering support of the manager, what is it you're seeing? Because I want to know. Because I can tell you, in all honesty, as a fanatical Red, I am seeing nothing to suggest that he knows how to navigate his way out of this. And the simple fact of the matter is, for 18 games now, there has been no improvement. Because if there had been, we wouldn't only have 5 wins in the last 18, not 1 so far this year, and only 4 points from the last 5 league games. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested in reading what you got to say after watching that today. All right, you'll never walk alone. Cheers, all the best. Ta-ra for now.